Starting with the central screen, this has been a hot topic of debate amongst a lot of owners, non-owners, and in general media, and even Consumer Reports that recently gave favorable recommendation to the Model 3. The central screen is where you control everything in the car. As you can see, the car is devoid of buttons. I think that's a really great thing. I really dig this Spartan look. I think going Spartan on this car was absolutely the right move for Tesla. It completely differentiated the car from anything that's out there in the market. Now, when I sit in a rental car and I see all these buttons around, like in this area and like this area, and all these stalks that go on the left and the right of the steering wheel, it just freaks me out because in most instances it takes me more than 5 minutes and I don't really have time when I'm getting a rental car. I just want to go in the rental car and leave. It takes me time to figure out what those buttons are for, and they kind of change from manufacturer to manufacturer and how they've laid those out. And a lot of those things you don't really use on a daily basis. So there's no point of having a button for something that, in my opinion, you do not use on a daily basis. And as most of us, regular drivers, we're not, we I think simplicity is an understated attribute, and I think a lot of these car manufacturers, being the incumbents in the game, haven't paid a lot of attention to the interior design of the car and haven't done a great job, I think, of differentiating their car from other manufacturers by working on the styling internally and by focusing on simplicity. So I think now simplicity is the number one thing that you will notice in this car, and that by far is the biggest I think selling advantage for Tesla, because I cannot understate it. I mean, we've all seen the same movie with the mobile phone industry. It used to be mobile phone industry, now it's I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's my smartphone, it does everything. But back in the day, back in the early 2000s, when BlackBerry came out with all their buttons, I mean, people thought that was the way to go until iPhone came out in 2007, and it just had a simple touchscreen and you could do everything through it, and it had different apps inside, and so getting rid of buttons and making it simple and very intuitive for the user is an attribute that no manufacturer of technology cannot not pay attention to. So I'm glad that Tesla did, and I think that's where their principles are for design, and that's what the biggest selling point is. So let's dig into the screen. I mean, the screen, a lot of you guys must have seen a lot of videos around about what the screen does. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritties of what the screen in general does. I'll just give you my quick view and my review of what I think are the best attributes about the screen and what needs some improvement. The good thing is that all of this is updatable. I mean, this design can completely change if Tesla decides one day to completely redo the layout, so that's the good. I do like the fact that on the left side of the screen you can kind of see a quick and dirty look at what the car is doing. When it's driving, you'll just see the car and you'll see the car surround, that it is able to monitor when it's in park, which it is right now. You can quickly access different the front trunk and the rear trunk, the charging here, the rear view camera, and the microphone, which we are not going to talk to, but you can quickly access those things which you probably would need on a daily basis. What I really like about the screen is this big navigation part of it. I think, again, I cannot state this anymore or emphasize on this. Navigation in my Model 3 is the greatest thing ever. It is very, very responsive. I haven't I was born and raised in India. I moved to the States in 2008, so I've been here for about 10 years now. So my accent has has changed over the period of time I've been in the US, but I still have some Indian accent when I speak, and I've had difficulty talking to Siri, not so much with Alexa, but I've had difficulty talking to Siri, or I've had experiences where Siri finds it difficult to understand my accent. That's completely not the case with Tesla's voice recognition. By just simple click of this button, you can ask her to take you, or ask her to take you anywhere you want, and in, I would say, 99.99% of the cases, it has been bang on. It has recognized what I was speaking, even if it's some accent, and it did a great job of pulling up all the options. So, like, for example, right in front of you right now, I've pulled up UPS store, and it did a great job of pulling up all the UPS stores in the vicinity. So that makes it very, very simple. And as you can see, the screen is very, very snappy. It's very it has literally no lag, and it gives you the amount of detail that you can get on the screen. This is amazing, and I completely love this feature. I really dig this navigation on my Tesla Model 3. It gives you traffic updates, it gives you where the charging infrastructure is, and a whole lot of other things. And you must have heard some people talk or rave about air conditioning. I cannot agree less with those people. The air conditioning in this car is amazing. One thing that I found out was how quickly the car cools itself. I would say within a minute, even if the internal temperature in the car is less than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, within a minute it can cool it down to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, which is amazing. I haven't felt any other air conditioning work so well. And as I said, I travel a lot for work, and I drive a lot of rental cars, really cool ones as well, and models from latest models, 2018 models, and I just don't see it with any other manufacturer having this kind of amazing technology in their cars. So it's very simplistic. The layout is most of the things that you would need on a daily basis, I mean, they're right in front down here. Stuff that you don't need on a daily basis, I mean, if you have multiple drivers, it will take you a few times to adjust the mirrors, the side view mirrors, the steering wheels, and the lights and the locks and all those things. I mean, you don't really need them on a daily basis, frankly, and it's good that it's kind of hidden away and out of your line of sight. Don't want to talk too much about the central screen, other than the fact that some people have complained that there is a little glare on the screen. I mean, I can see some glare, but it doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you can, when you get your car, you can put a matte finish screen protector, and that should be sufficient to take care of the glare issue. This cooling vent is great as well. Amazing design. I think they've completely rethought how cooling needs to work in a car. And this is the thing with Tesla. So they just take any legacy designs and throw them out before start designing the car, and that's great. I mean, because it's a completely fresh set of eyes, completely fresh take on what the interior of the car needs to look like. And as you can see, I mean, it's simple. It's simple interior with I got the premium upgrade with black seats. I think the new performance version of the car is being offered in white seats as well. I would have preferred white seats. I really like them, but since my car is white externally, I think black gives me a good contrast. This hood trim that you see here is not is also an amazing thing. I mean, it just gives you a really nice look to the car. There is ample amount of storage space here. There is that little Tesla Model 3 that they gave me when I got the car delivered. There is the charging space here. So a lot of space, and 2 cup holders. I mean, there's enough space to put some bottles and cups on the door panel, on all the door panels. As you can see, there's enough space in the car to do to really make it very simple to use and very effective in general. I don't think there's much more to talk about for the interior. As I said, the biggest attribute is simplicity. I really like the Spartan look, and I think a lot of people will like it too. The car updates itself, I mean, a lot of people talked about that. I'm still waiting for my summon update through which I can summon the car through a parking spot. That hasn't occurred yet, but the car comes standard with LTE data connection, which is great. The car also comes standard with pretty great music. I mean, I had Slacker radio pulled up a little while ago, and I have access to pretty great music in this car, so that's good too. and has heated seats. I mean, I'm in Florida, so I don't really use heated seats. But if you guys live in some colder weather, heated seats might be something that you guys might find pretty useful. Yeah, I think one thing I just completely forgot about is this panoramic glass roof. I mean, this roof is amazing. I mean, I don't get to enjoy it as much as I would like because I'm always driving the car. But if someone would drive the car for me while I was sitting in the passenger seat, I can completely see myself getting lost, looking in the sky, especially the night sky. Even not, in the day sky is beautiful. If it's quite blue outside, so that gives this car a very airy feel. So you don't feel claustrophobic at all. Even for people who are tall. I mean, I'm 5'7", and there's about almost like half a feet of space between me and the roof. So it's quite nice to have this much space in the car. Yeah, it's not small by any proportion. I mean, this is perfect for my use that I have felt in the last 2 months. I've had a few more people sit in the back as well, and there's enough leg room. I mean, I don't have. I can probably go back and demonstrate that, but there's enough leg room in the back, so no space constraint. And for storage, I mean, you have the trunk and you have the rear trunk, and then you have the front trunk that has enough storage. That's it for the internal review, guys. Let me know what you think, and as more of you start getting your Model 3, please post your comments and tell me your thoughts about your car. And I'm really trying to get involved in the Tesla community and listening to other people and what they feel about this car, their car in general, and let's keep it coming. Until next time, take care.